Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us, comedians who care. We're having, of course, some tech fabulousness, but we are going to figure it out for sure. And we're going to have a great conversation for sure. And Zoe will be joining us, and she'll be a panelist. And here we go. Rebecca's out, but she's coming back in. But we do have the most amazing Josh Blue with us on time. And hey, there's Rebecca, perfectly lit.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can you see?
Wow.
Can you
Yes.
see me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We see you. You look great. Everything's
I
good.
do. I feel great. I look great.
Yes. And Zoe's on her way in. So this is really fabulous.
I'm doing it on my phone.
Well, that is the art of improvisation, I think we call that. Being in the moment.
Right.
So we're going to have a cool conversation. I wanted to have you join us and have this conversation because I'm so impressed with people who take their gifts and then find a way to raise awareness and sometimes even money to support a cause. So before we talk to you, I'll just give a little background about who everybody is. So Rebecca Corry, thank you. Rebecca began her acting career in comedies like Comedy Central Presents, The King of Queens, Yes Dear, which I did not know, Rebecca, but Mike O'Malley is one of my oldest friends. I did
No way.
Yes, when he was in New York City, he wrote plays and produced plays, and I was in all of Mike O'Malley's plays. So that's crazy.
That's amazing. He's awesome.
Yes, yes. And also you did the Bernie Mac show. You were part of Oxygen's Bad Girls Gone Good, Rules of Engagement, Big Fat Liar. And then, of course, you started Stand Up for Pits, the Stand Up for Pits Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to ending the abuse and discrimination of pit bull type dogs. And we're going to talk all about that. I'm going to have you talk all about that.
Okay.
And also we have Josh Blue, and you may recognize Josh from as being the winner of NBC's Last Comic Standing in 2006. And his 2018 set on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where he killed, absolutely. And the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal. He has 5 one-hour specials that were all shot in the hometown of Denver. And Josh does over 200 shows a year, continuing to spread laughter and break down stereotypes of people with disabilities. So yes, yes, yes. He was also the first stand-up on the Ellen DeGeneres Show and was named Best Winning Reality Show Guest on Live with Regis and Kelly. So he's also cut an album, they don't call it albums anymore, a CD.
Do they call them CDs? They still call them CDs?
Yeah. They call them the cloud now. You just cut something into the cloud. And that's called Josh Blue and the Hooligan Stew Review that has been described as Tom Waits meets the Muppets. Okay, and if that's not enough, Josh represented the United States in 8 countries as a member of the U.S. Paralympic soccer team, and he's a single dad. I read that. All right, so I know Zoe will be joining us as soon as we can figure out that tech situation. But while we are waiting for arrival, I have a fun question, and because I'm genuinely curious, and that is, when is the first time that you knew you were funny? And when is the first time that you thought, oh, funny can actually like be a good thing, like beyond just making people laugh, but it might actually like, maybe I could do something with this. So Rebecca, do you want to go first?
When did I think it was funny? I don't even know if I think I'm still fun. I'm funny at all, to be honest. I think I just use humor as a coping mechanism. I'm the person that would laughs at a funeral and inappropriate times because that's how I process. I don't know, sad things or trauma or whatever. So I don't necessarily know if I thought I was funny. I think I just loved laughing, and I wanted other people to laugh too. And so, I was an idiot, I was a class clown and did all the stuff that you're not supposed to do. And that's it. I don't know. I wish I had a more poignant answer where I was like, I knew. It just hit me one day when, I came up with a tight 30-minute set. And then
Yes.
when I didn't, it just, I think I've always been a maniac, and I've always laughed. That's it.
Well, for those of you who aren't familiar with Rebecca's comedy, please get familiar with it, because she is really, really funny. And the thing is, it feels very physical and very like intentional. It's not accidental. Like, you are completely engaged and using body, mind, spirit. So that's what made me think, oh, when did you first realize like that kind of engagement is really compelling?
Well, I'm 53 now, so I don't really do as much physical stuff as I did, because I'll pull a hammy or bruise a coccyx, but I still explain things with my body. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just how I talk. So it can be very annoying to many.
Very entertaining. All right. And Josh, what about you?
Well, I think it's a lot of what Rebecca said is, a defense mechanism, and it's, having a physical disability. I was just kind of, I was thrown into the mix of the able-bodied kids. I was actually in special ed till the fourth grade, and then I got mainstreamed, and it was my best defense there. Just if you can make the bully look stupid before they can get to you, then it's hard for people to respect the bully when they're mean.
Yeah.
And then as far as yeah.
No, go
And
ahead.
then I just remember like one of the first times in high school that I remember like, oh, I was in a physics class and I must have said a swear word or something, and the teacher said, "Hey Josh, do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" And without thinking, I just said, "No, I kiss yours." And the whole class like laughed instantly. Even the teacher laughed, but it was one of those moments where I was like, "Oh, okay, this is what it feels like to have an audience." And I've just always been in love with making people laugh. And like Rebecca said, I love laughing myself. So
Yeah. And something that I noticed in watching all your stand-up is how much joy and how present you are. Whether you're filming something or not, you're completely present with the audience. Like, you are looking for the comedy in the room, which I love so much. And also your willingness to just throw yourself under the bus is just it's so disarming and lovely. So it's just
well,
so,
thank you.
yeah.
People you have to go see Josh live. It's one of the
Exactly.
I mean, he is one of like my favorite comedians of all time. He commands the moment he walks out to the moment he's done. I mean, he has them in the palm of his hand, and his stories are he's just hilarious. It's a genius.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. We have our special guest has shown up. This is so exciting.
Very Zoom elusive, very Zoom elusive.
But so wonderful that you're here. Thank you.
Thanks
You,
for
everyone. This is Zoe Friedman. And Zoe grew up in the comedy world completely. She was basically raised at the Improv by her parents, by her family. And her first job was working at the Late Show for David Letterman, where she stayed for 9 years and introduced Letterman and the world to Jim Gaffigan, Mitch Hedberg, Eddie Izzard. And then Worldwide Pants moved Zoe to Los Angeles to help guide the launch of the Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn. Then she moved into Comedy Central Development Department for 10 years. And she's of the comedy world. And I thought just a fantastic addition to this conversation. So, and of course, founder of Comedy Gives Back. So Zoe, we're just doing a quick, like the first time you felt that comedy and laughter was transformative, if that's maybe too serious a word, but that it could really like have an impact.
I mean, from the day I was born, probably. I don't know. No, but that is what my partners said to me when they came up to me and wanted to start Comedy Gives Back. And they said, do you think we could change the world through comedy? And I said, yes. How much time do you have? Let's sit down and figure out what that looks like. And, you know, I think comedy has been, I say it's like my hobby, my job, my personal, you know, like my personal passion, like my professional passion. I believe in it the utmost, that it is transformative. I don't have one specific example. I have too many for a normal day. No.
I have to know, have you ever done stand-up? Did you ever like
God,
face?
no. God, no.
No.
I just
No.
go to therapy. Have the urge, I just go to therapy instead. So
That's maybe the healthier choice.
that's one joke I have written, that. And then my second is, do you know what the biggest difference between me and Pauly Shore is?
What?
45 years of therapy.
Oh, that's a little inside, folks, but Pauly.
It's true, funny because it's true. Anyway, no, I do not. I've had urges, but I really just kind of like, it's too scary. I have the utmost reverence and fear of it, and what Rebecca and Josh and you and people do just awes me. I just can't, yeah, I couldn't do it. I have a lot of respect for it, but not for me.
All right, cool. So now, of course, I'd love to hear about each of the organizations, the genesis of it, and also, you know, what moves you to it and moves you forward. So, Rebecca, why don't you kick that little topic off?
Little topic off. Well,
Yeah.
I, for a long time, thought that my purpose on the planet was to be a comedian and be in the business of show. And then a pit bull type dog by the name of Angel came into my life and changed the trajectory of it. And I became, shortly thereafter, I deep dived into the plight of dogs that are labeled pit bull type dogs. And what I found was horrifying and unthinkable, to be honest. And I also realized that it was a direct reflection of an extremely broken society. And I had, you know, in 2003, after being in LA for like 4 years, I went to, and, you know, volunteered in Africa, and I was already searching for, you know, something. I had always, anytime anyone asked me to be a part of any benefit, to do anything to benefit any cause, I would always do it. And but then when I became educated about breed-specific legislation and the abuse and discrimination that pit bull type dogs are faced with every single day in this country and around the world, I was like, well, doing nothing is not an option. So I just started producing live stand up for pits events, they're called. And I did them in Los Angeles. I did a few here, started in 2011, and then just took all the money that I made, sold them out, and gave the money directly to a pit bull type dog rescue that, you know, saves them. And then I decided in 2013 to become a charity. And I went through the process. And then I organized a march on Washington, which was called the 1 Million Pit Bull March on Washington, D.C. And 5,000 people showed up. And it took me a year to organize, and we rallied at the West Lawn of the Capitol. And it was to raise awareness about the dogfighting epidemic and breed-specific legislation and how that is directly related to human beings. It's not the dogs, it's broken humans. And I mean, I could go on and on and on. But anyways, it was a very...
Can I just say that I did a teeny weeny bit of research, and apparently the American Kennel Association doesn't recognize pit bulls as a breed. Is that still true?
That's absolutely true, because pit bull is a term used to describe a type of dog based solely on its appearance. So when someone says a pit bull is a bad dog, it's like, it's a mutt. You're saying it's a pit bull because it has short hair, and because it has short hair? That, like, that's the reality of all of it, which is one of the reasons why my organization exists, because fear-based ignorance is based in a term. It's
Wow.
ludicrous. And so, yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's a huge, huge point that most people don't know. And they just call all these dogs, 85% of all dogs in US shelters are labeled pit bulls, and they're not, they're just dogs. They're literally just dogs, and they're all born inherently good. And so I just decided to continue using comedy and doing what I could to raise awareness. And I became a nonprofit, and now we're, I don't know, 10 year, whatever, however many years. It's been, this May will be 10 years since the March. So I've been doing this for like 14 years, and it's punishing every single day and devastating, but it's exactly what, it's just exactly what I need to be doing, or it's, you know, it's what I should be doing. And people like Josh who don't, I mean, some of the comics that have performed on these shows are incredible. They're incredible people and incredible comics. Most of them don't even have pit bull type dogs. Like Josh doesn't have a pit bull type dog, but he's done stand up for Pitt several times. He's one of my favorites. And, you know, Rosie O'Donnell, Bill Burr, Gaffigan, I mean, David Spade, Adam Sandler, Margaret Cho, the list goes on and on. These are people who donated their time and talents to help raise awareness for this cause. And I think it's pretty incredible.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I want to hear more about where it's going, but let's swing over to Josh. If you could talk a little bit about your background with your cause.
Sure. Well, I just want to say the stand up for Pitt's events are awesome, and I love doing them. So thanks for letting me be a part of that. As far as me, I've been a charity since I was born. You know, no, I don't have an organization. I'm just an ambassador for disability in general. I have cerebral palsy, and I do talk a lot about that in my show, but I never try to beat you over the head with it. I just try to be the best comic that I am, and you learn through my jokes that, I mean, it's hard to even say this, but like with disability, we're not like fighting for, we're just fighting to be given a fair shake. Like, just treat us like other people. And I feel like with what I do is I just show you that we're people too, and that you know, I may have cerebral palsy, but I'm better than 90% of comedians out there, you know, and you know,
Yes.
and you know, I just feel like that it's just bringing awareness, because people are so often afraid of what they don't understand, right? So if you don't have someone in your life that has cerebral palsy, you don't know how to interact with that person. And it's such a simple thing. Just talk to them. That's all you gotta do. We're people. That's it. And I always hear like, oh, I'm just afraid I'm gonna offend you. I'm like, well, you can try to offend me. I don't think you're capable. I mean, and the other thing is about disability, like all the disabled people that I know are like, we're so harsh on each other and ourselves that like anything your able-bodied ass could say wouldn't come close to what we've already said about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah.
No, I feel like a bobblehead while you're talking, because I'm like, because I work in a lot in Alzheimer's, and that's how Laughter on Call started, was in the Alzheimer's space. And it is a very similar thing that people they're afraid to engage with people with Alzheimer's. Like they just don't. And I love that, you know, what I've seen about all your work is that it really is just like saying, yeah, hello, like engage, you can engage, and breaking through that fear. And I know we're always at Laughter on Call, we're always trying to send that same message, like engage with people with Alzheimer's. Don't pretend they're not in the room, you know? And
yeah, I never want to like bash you over the head and ask for it. I just want you to like leave my show and go, oh, I never thought of it that way. I never, like, I think a lot of times people are in their car rides home going, oh shit, I've been doing it wrong the whole time. Yeah, and give people just a different point of view. And I always have to say this, like, you leave your show, my show, with a different perspective of disability. It might not be a better perspective, but I'm gonna make you think.
Well, it's a very human perspective. That's the thing. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
you're just a guy, you do you have all the same guy things that guys have. And that's like, I think that's a lot of the point that you're making too.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
All right. Now, Zoe,
Yeah.
you come at this in a slightly different way, in that you're not a performer, and yet you're equally as passionate about supporting performers, which of course I love. So talk a bit about the genesis of Comedy Gives Back.
Well, like I mentioned, Jody Lieberman and Amber J, my two partners, came up to me at the Improv. We would go to the club, we were always out there scouting, and we all produced and stuff. And they said, do you think we could change the world through comedy? And I said, yeah, let's talk about it. And what we started to do, and although I don't think I ever asked Josh, I might have asked Rebecca, but would you perform for free on a fundraiser for a Haiti water project, or Feeding America, or Malaria No More? We originally started as kind of a for-profit production entity that would use comedy, charity, and the one piece we added to it was sort of technology. So we live streamed very early on in the space, and then in 2018, we sort of looked around, and you look at all the arts, and I don't think comics are treated as artists with the big A, and that's wrong. It's like one of the few art forms that was developed here in America where we have freedom of speech, or used to have freedom of speech. And you look around and you go, there's actors, fun for actors, and music cares for musicians, and fucking how dare us? Sorry, can I curse? How dare, I can't believe the non-comedians, first one to curse maybe, but shame on us for not taking care of our own. So we pivoted and we became our own 501c3, like Stand Up for Pits. And then, we started raising money for comedians in 2019. We had our first fundraiser, and then pandemic came in 2020. We already opened our doors like a Music Cares, and then we became Pandemic Relief, helping with financial crisis, mental health care. And then we now have resumed back to the original vision, more like a Music Cares. Hey, I'm a comedian, I've hit some hard times, or I need therapists, or I need chemical dependency treatment, or whatever it might be. And we're there to resource and pay. So because comedians need the help. Like, we want to make sure that comedians get back to do what they do best, which is make people laugh, period. Like, that's it,
Yeah. That was one of the reasons I didn't incorporate it as a nonprofit naively, was because I wanted people to know that they were paying for comedians, like to respect the craft and the talent of comedians who were giving their time to work with people with Alzheimer's. And so I didn't want to be a nonprofit. Now, of course, I've learned so much in 5 years. I could have been a nonprofit and paid everybody.
That's right. You could still pay people, right?
Exactly. But it was a mindset of respecting the talent and what comedians do, and wanting to send that message of like what everyone does. It is healing. And so and it does have value, so pay for it, kind of thing. It was a little.
I love that. I love that. You're a better person than I am. Like, perform for free comics on these shows for other causes that don't impact your life, and they would do it. Comics would do it. I mean, so I think that you had the right intention as to hopefully now.
Yeah. So now, did anybody want to add anything about your backstory? Did anything get missed that you want to share?
I'm good.
Okay, no, all right. So if you were given, let's say $1 million just dropped out of the sky and was given to each of you, what would you like to do with that money in terms of your organization or just in life? Let's start with you. Rebecca. Go ahead.
I would take Ozempic. I would get on that, and then I would look into fillers, and
you'd have 500,000 left.
And then I do, I would just buy clothes and everything I could to just look the best I could. You know what I mean?
For the dogs.
Oh, if I
Oh.
got $1 million, I would, I mean, I would just, it would just go right into my organization and I would just try to save dogs with it. I would save dogs with it. Sadly, I would need a lot more than $1 million, but,
Interesting.
I would need $1 billion, but it would definitely save dogs. That's what I would do with it. But for sure, Smooth Move Tea and Ozempic.
Yes, well, what I meant was that you wanted to look good for the dog.
Yes, that's all that matters.
You want to put your dogs in Ozempic? Is that what I'm hearing, Rebecca? No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm
Kelly,
joking.
I appreciate you thinking I don't need it, but you can only see me from tits up and waist down. It's a shit show. So I would immediately at least half of that for Ozempic. No, of course go to my charity.
Oh, I liked all of those answers.
Yeah.
And I think you've earned it if you want it,
Thank
but
you.
you don't
Thank
need
you.
it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
All right, Zoe, what about you? You have $1 million.
Well, I just want to say we do these kind of exercises with my partners where we do visualize receiving money. Like, what would it feel like? What would we really do with it versus like, wanting or willing it or wishing it. One of the things that we want to start a campaign for, which I would put, we would put some away so I would love to hire a social worker, like a full-time social worker to be the point of contact, right, for everything and be able to, because I think there's dots that we're not all connecting because we only know what we know. And I think a social worker would fill us out. But I would also start my campaign or the campaign we want to start for our senior home. So we want to have like a home, like a motion picture fund home for comedians. And I'm a comedy producer, so we try to learn how to run a nonprofit and raise money. And we would start that. Somebody would tell me, hopefully, to start a capital fund or an endowment so we could build our capital for this senior home.
Wow, can you imagine a senior home of just comedians? I mean,
Either it's a great
man.
day or a terrible day to go there. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh man.
So good. So maybe what you do is you write the show about that, and then that funds the actual,
Right.
That's awesome.
Live stream from the senior home, live stream from the loony bin. No, I'm kidding.
So good.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Me too.
I'm in.
All right, Josh, you have $1 million. What do you do?
I skip town. I'm out. I'm good. Take the money and run. Forget the people. No. I mean, I think I'd take the money to start the Palsy revolution. It's time us disabled people take back the planet. No, I mean, the disabled community is the largest minority group on the planet, and we're so underrepresented in everything. I think it'd just be really cool to find a way to get us all together, and even if it was just an app where you could go and commiserate and compare life stories and notes and ways to cope with things, and just I feel like the problem is when you say disability, it's a blanket for all disabilities, right? So it's spina bifida and mental disabilities and I mean deaf people. So it's just so weird that we're all clumped together. But if you're going to clump us together, let's build this community and share our stories. I think it'd be really cool to be able to help each other get through this able-bodied world.
Yeah, that is actually completely feasible, by the way, Josh, because I know, like
I'm ready for my $1 million, please.
Yeah, no, seriously, like it's such a. I'm always hearing like for seniors and caregivers, there's Rune, and that's exactly what Rune does. It's a community, they create community, and you know, you can talk to other people and who also are dealing with cognitive decline. So that's a pitch, and you could pitch it better than anyone. So that's
if any of y'all want to help me figure this out,
it's a really
I'm
good
in.
idea. Really good idea.
It's a good idea. I'll maybe put a little, some of my million towards it, Josh. I like it so much.
Oh, thanks.
It's like Shark Tank. All of a sudden I'm supporting other people's fake $1 million brands.
Right. We'll take some of Rebecca's Ozempic money
I appreciate the honesty.
Where's the Ozempic app? Oh, I can't. Okay, this is kind of a funny question. What do your families think about what you do? Have you gotten any feedback? Zoe, you come from a comedy family, so what did they must?
You know, my family loves this. I mean, I think they thought of it or think of it as a side gig, as did I when I started, but it's really the thing that's calling me, and it's really the thing that has need. I mean, I don't know if Hollywood needs another, you know, independent producer trying to sell shows, because I'm one of like 8 million. But my family, I mean, you know, my son who's 19, you know, he, like, as his rebellion when he was in high school was almost like just disregard comedy. Like, he couldn't care less. Like, I had so much juice, and I was like, I can hook you up. I'm like, you know, thank God his best friend was a huge comedy fan, so I had some street cred. So my son couldn't care less, really. I mean, he's happy with what I do, he's proud of it, but like, doesn't mean, you know, that much. My husband's our creative director, so it's a family affair. And my parents loved what I did, and you know, I see it as sort of a more of a natural extension, for even though they made a business out of it. My parents did care about comics and their well-being. They did. They liked the art form, they liked the performers, and you know, I know that they helped out where they could, and I feel like this is a natural extension of my family's legacy. So it feels right on for me. My personal and professional feel aligned, and, you know, moves with ease and flow. So it's good thus far.
Well, I think that must be true, because there's no like evil lurking story about the improv. You know, there's no lawsuits about the improv. So I think.
Oh, currently, my dad walked around like a Teflon vest. Like, my dad had so many people lawsuit this, not because he was a criminal, but he was a business person and had some probably bad, but oh, I have a lawsuit over here. I was like, what? But not evil doing, but like, definitely like, what's a lawsuit? So no, they do. They mean well, I think at the improv.
All right, good to know.
I didn't mean to shut you down. I will just say,
no.
I remember a time when my father was I was like, how do you just like, and you know, he's a proud guy going out to lunch and dinners, and you know, he's a businessman that had falling outs with, I guess, people.
Also doing business. Yeah.
Jackie Mason kind of, you know, sent some mafioso people after our family, after you know, Jackie had a restaurant at the Hollywood Improv for a little bit. And they had a business falling out, and you know, my mother was like, I think I have to get security to take you girls home. Like, there was a short time. My mom was a high drama girl, but you know, like it was you know, so there were times. No, okay, it's good too.
Okay, I
don't mean to reveal the dirty laundry, but
no, please, that's why we're here. What else is interesting? Rebecca, what about your family, Rebecca? Any thoughts?
Well, my dogs are my family, so they absolutely love what I do. They completely support it. And they actually help me with fundraising. Like, a lot of our merchandise and, you know, appearances and stuff, people actually buy their stuff, and all of that funding goes to the foundation. So that's the only family that matters to me, and they're my dogs. So they're behind it, and they're ambassadors.
Now, wait, do they have names? Like, can you get merch with like sparkles or whatever?
Well, I don't think I would ever name a dog Sparkles, no offense, but I would say, yes.
Sparkle.
I don't know why I said that. You know.
I don't know. It was It was a grab, but I Angel, yes, of course. Like Angel is, Angel was actually National Geographic listed Angel. They chose Angel as one of the 125 dogs that changed the world.
What?
She's in it.
Wow.
Yes, she's in National Geographic. There's a children's book. You can buy it right now. But Angel is also the documentary that I'll tell you about later is very much very much all driven, and this whole foundation is driven by her. So yes, people still buy all the things that are all Angel, but the current Angel passed away in 2016, but the current nerds that are the face of the organization are Sally and Todd. And yes, you can buy, we have knit sweaters and all these things you can buy with their, and people do, they love it. So
Oh,
yeah,
I want that.
Okay.
Is it like Sally and Todd on a hoodie?
we have hoodies, but we also have very, very nice knit cardigans and women's sweaters, like really nice.
Oh,
So
fancy.
yeah, you can go to
Oh.
our website. It's standupforpits.us and look at our merchandise. It's pretty epic. I
love that. And I
Yeah.
love that Angel's like the Tupac of Pitbull.
That's an insane comparison, but yes, that is
Yes, love it.
exactly what she is. Zoe, you met her.
Of course, she was on the panel with my dad. Remember, you were all was I on the panel or no? I think Amber J moderated it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have lots of pictures of Bud with her, and I'm actually putting one with him and her in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm
my dad
very
loved
sweet.
her. My dad loved her. She loved him too. My
She
dad
loved him a lot, and
lot.
it was very sweet how they were together. He was so, it was really cute.
Yeah, we're big animal people in my
Oh my
family.
God. I mean, I love Angel and I never met.
Yeah. And I do
All right,
appreciate
Josh met
Todd
her
and
too.
Sally on social.
I met her.
Yeah.
Um,
You met Angel. You've met Todd and Sally too. You've met them all.
The
all right,
little hippos.
Yeah.
we want to hear about the movie, but Josh, tell me about
Yeah.
your family quickly. Your how proud they are.
Yeah,
of you.
my folks always wanted me to be a brain surgeon, so just kidding. No, I mean, my mom told me like later after my career started, she's like, I always knew you had something like this in you, and they've been nothing but supportive of my career. And my mom's in her 80s now, and she still comes to the show when I'm in Minnesota. And my dad hasn't been in a while, but that's because he's very deaf, so it's not very fun for him. And then as far as my kids go, I've been a comedian their whole lives, so this is just what dad does, and they're very patient and everywhere we go together, people always stop me and want photos, and they're always the first ones to like, let me take it for you, and they grab the phones, and they've come on the road with me a couple times now and helped me sell merch, and so it's turning into a family thing too, which is so fun to let my kids see what I do, even though on stage I talk a lot of shit about them. So.
Wait, how old are they, Josh?
My boy just turned 16 and my girl will be 14 on Cinco de Mayo.
Wow.
So
and you talk, wow.
I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the thick of it right now, for sure.
Yeah. I have a 16-year-old also. So
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
He's very into hoodies. Always got the hoodie going on.
Yeah.
That's cool that you talk about them on stage and they still want to help.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch my specials, you can see the progression of their lives. So every special has some part of their development, and obviously my development with them.
So cool. So cool. All right. So we don't have a ton of time left. If anybody has any questions, by the way, audience, feel free. Oh, wait, there are questions. Here we go. Okay. what are some other causes or organizations that you admire? And is that because of how they run, or and how effective they are? Any thoughts about that?
Is this for all of us?
Yeah, anybody who wants to jump in.
I think, well, I
Oh,
was just gonna say, I love Rebecca's organization. I think, because
Dani?
again, we started using comedy to raise money for causes, and I think it's really important. But I mean, I want to give a shout out for that. But I also want to say, like, Music Cares for us, for Comedy Is Back, is like apples to apples for most part. I mean, we can definitely grow in a new, different way. What was amazing about them and what I admire about them is they have so much funding from the Grammy. So we don't have the equivalent, right? So the recording industry funds Music Cares, whereas, in nonprofit space, and this, Rebecca, right? Everything is transparent. You have to put everything out there. And there's this 80-20 thing that, you're supposed to put 80% towards overhead and 20 and then 80% programs, and all that. They have no overhead because it's all paid for by the Recording Academy. And so they have this great navigate, they're like super high rated as a nonprofit, which people do look at when they're choosing nonprofits, but they have such a strong backing with their infrastructure. And comedians, we don't have the same, we don't have the Grammys, we don't have the one night we're all celebrated, we don't have the recording industry. Hopefully every comic is on Sound Exchange and getting their money. But anyway, so that I look to as, wow, if they do great work. It's a lot, very apples to apples. I think musicians and comedians are probably two of the closer art forms, in terms of both the obstacles and highs and lows and lifestyle and stuff. So that's one that I will say, or two.
Great. And Rebecca, you had one you wanted to mention?
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. That's really sweet. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm a huge fan of Jane Goodall and her foundation and the work that Jane has done and has continued to do. She is just about as badass as it gets, and I've got to meet her a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, and I had dinner with
I'm so jealous. That's awesome.
Dinner with her?
I did. I was invited to this event and I sat at her table. I went and got her a whiskey. I mean, she is just
That's
she is
awesome.
just incredible.
Did you have your dogs and she have her gorilla? Did you guys kind of like sit at the table? That's what I want to see. That's the part.
No, I wish that was possible. But do you know that Jane Goodall's favorite animal on the entire planet are dogs?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I
Really?
love her as a woman. I love her as a pioneer. I love her dedication, and I love the work that she does, and she does it with grace and class, and she stays very, very her advocacy is very measured and great. Like it's something I do not have the ability to do. I am off the rails most of the time. So I love me some Jane Goodall.
Well, that's your
That's
charm,
awesome.
Rebecca. That's your drive that you're off
I
the
don't know if everyone thinks that, Dani, but it's how it works.
Definitely. All right, Josh, what about you? Any organization?
Yeah, I'm a huge animal guy. I love animals too. My whole life, I was actually born in Cameroon, West Africa, and I've lived in Senegal a bunch of my life. So I've always been in love with African animals, and there's an organization out of Denver. It's called Katie's Night. But I've gone to Tanzania to raise money to stop the poaching for elephants and rhinos, and
Wow.
I really love this organization. It's such a needed cause. For losing like 100 elephants a day, which at that rate there's not going to be any left. So to me that's a big one for me for sure.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Generous spirits in the house. All right, before we go, it's a twofold, I think is the expression. So I know that we're all love self-deprecation, although I never recommend it for women. But So I know that we love self-deprecation, but share with us a moment that you're most proud of your of what you've been able to achieve so far. And then please tell us, I know, Rebecca, you have the movie coming out. Tell us anything that's coming up so we can follow you and support you. So let's see. Rebecca, start us off.
I think I'm most proud of having the consciousness and wherewithal to listen to a dog who never spoke a word and follow her lead. And because I did, millions of other lives have gotten a chance because of her. So that's what I'm most proud of. It's hard to feel proud in the space that I'm in with, my charity, because there is so much needless loss of life. So proud isn't really the word. It's just, I think, the fact that I guess I continue to follow Angel's lead is what I'm most proud of. And then I've been working on a documentary for 6.5 years, and it is going to be finished next Wednesday. And
Yay!
Yay!
Yay. And it will be premiering here in Los Angeles this summer. I'm not allowed to announce how, where, or why, or the date yet until it's officially been announced by I can't announce it yet, which is such a bummer. But
you can't even announce who's going to announce it. That's the thing. Yeah.
But I will tell you this, it's going to be real great, and it's going to be on the big screen, and it's going to be it's about time. So that will be happening this summer, and people will believe me. As soon as I get the confirmed date, people will know. So it will be announced pretty soon here, like in the next week or two.
Fantastic. And obviously you'll have it up on the website, and if you get it, we can shoot some information out to our people as well.
Great.
Yes, of course. All right, Josh, what do you have coming up, and what are you proud of?
As far as what I got coming up, I have my 5th hour special coming out this year. So again, just to say, I have 5-hour specials and a audio CD and a music CD. Like that leads into what I'm proud of. I'm just proud of like the ability of my career and me to just keep going and writing material and coming up, making it fresh every time, and continue to bring the message of disability and just mainly humor. Just I'm just still impressed that I'm able to be funny after 20 years of doing 200 shows a year. So it's a lot. So, but I don't often, like you said, self-deprecation is more of my go-to. So saying nice things about myself is hard.
Well, I just having seen even just a little of your work, the way it stays fresh is because you're completely present. It's not canned. It's like the sense that I have watching you is like you're completely alive, and it is so compelling. So I can't be proud of you because I didn't birth you, but I'm proud of I'm proud of what
Thank
you
you.
do. I think it's really
Well, thank you so much.
both you and Rebecca. I just love. All right. Zoe, what are you proud of? And other than working with Laughter on Call?
Yeah, we have something brewing as well. We'll be able to hopefully announce soon. And it's about supporting comedians in different ways, right? We're addressing it. And I guess like to that point, I'm really proud of how my partners and I work together and get the opportunity to partner with different companies, different ideas. We've had to do like all of us, right? We all have to bob and weave and zig and zag and, kind of figure it out. And I'm proud that we figured it out thus far. Like, I'll just say that I think as an organization of like a nonprofit, and we hadn't ever ran a nonprofit, we figured it, just like you, Rebecca, right? You figure it out, you surround yourself with smarter people, with people who know more in that area. And we get to, you know, we get to be experts in our spots and moose and create space for people, you know, to fill the organization out. And so I'm proud how we function and support, and proud that we're a woman-owned company and woman-run company. We work with everyone, but we love that. I'm sure there's other things. I'm proud of my son. I'm proud. No. And as far as coming up, we don't have any shows on the books right now, but we will be announcing a show hopefully this June or July. And then we have one in November as part of the New York Comedy Festival in New York. But I'll just say, please feel free, if you can, support. Donate at comedygivesback.com or text LAUGH, LAUGH, to 707070. And if you're a comedian who's listening and you or somebody you know needs help, or are interested in knowing more about what we do, or resources, grants, just email us at info@comedygivesback.com and somebody will let you know how we can help, or let us know how we can help you.
So awesome. Thank you, Zoe. And thank you for bringing up that idea of being proud of working with others. You know, I came out of the stand-up and I definitely did not have skills to work with others. And that has been remarkable in the last 5 years, to like have people who I trust and who show up and who we're all able to communicate with each other, and then have situations like this where, you know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And I'm so proud that I've been able to have this conversation with you guys, because you really speak to my heart. So thank you, Laughter on Call team. And thank you to all of you, Josh and Rebecca and Zoe. It's been such a pleasure to hear about you and your work. And we will definitely support you and keep you in the Laughter on Call universe, as it were. And Josh, that app, like, that's for real. That's a thing. So I'm going to have to.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to work on it. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a for real thing. So, okay. I don't see any more questions. We got little emojis flying by, little celebratory ice cream cones. Very exciting. Thank you all, audience, for tuning in and hanging in with us. And we will make this available to the greater public as well. So that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dani.
Great to see you, Rebecca. Great to see you, Josh.
Great to see you too,
Thank
Zoe.
you.
You too, Josh.
When's your next show, Rebecca?
New York. Stand Up for Pits is June 9th at Gotham Comedy Club in New York.
Nice.
I love that. With Chris Mazzilli. He's supporting you?
Chris Mazzilli, who is Chris still there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's his club. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him, but I never see him. I've been bringing, I think, stand up. This is like the 13th year of Stand Up for Pits there, or